嗨，你好，你是不是觉得中文的发音特别难呢？特别是四声，或者说你已经很流利，可是中国人还是觉得听不懂你，或者呢，你也觉得很难提高你的听力。那这一期视频呢，就是来针对我们怎么样更好的练好中文的发音，包括四声。你如果对这个感兴趣，那么我们就开始吧。Hi, welcome to the Espresso, your daily shot of Chinese words with Catherine Xiang. 大家好，我是 Dr. Catherine Xiang, and this channel is dedicated to help you understand the Chinese language, particularly through morphology. But today's video, we are going to actually talk about another quite big headache of Chinese learners. That is the Chinese pronunciation, particularly the four tones. 好，大家好，如果你是字 Espresso 的新朋友，欢迎你们在这个频道呢，我们看字和词之间的关系。Last episode, we actually look at the very basic introduction to Chinese tones and what are my top 5 strategies to help you improve the basic Chinese tones. Today, this video is more dedicated to already relatively fluent Chinese speaker, or you have mastered the basic of Chinese tones and you want to continue to improve your Mandarin pronunciation and sound more native-like. So if that's you, stay tuned. 好，今天的视频呢，我们会分成2个部分。第一个部分呢，我们会通过最新的科研来了解一下为什么很多同学会觉得去听中文或者说很好的把中文的四声发出来是那么难的一件事情。那理解了这理论呢，能够帮助我们更好的了解怎么样去改进。然后呢，第2个部分呢，我就会给我们已经说汉语说的比较流利的这样子的同学呢一些建议和技巧。那你怎么可以更好的改善你的发音？好，那我们就开始吧。第一部分呢，我想要跟大家分享一个在2015年，当时呢麻省理工大学出的一个研究。那这个研究呢非常有趣，它主要呢是看有声调的语言和没有声调的语言，当他们在沟通的时候，大脑里是怎么样的一个呈现方式，或者说我们在有声调的语言和无声调的语言之间的这个比较。我们在沟通的时候，特别是我们在要能够了解比较高级的或者比较有深度的内容的时候，我们的大脑里面会发生什么样的变化，或者说有什么样的不同。在这个研究里面呢，它比较巧的就是选了这个一组是普通话母语者，然后呢，另外一组是英语的母语者。那现在我们来看一下最重要的一个发现。所以大家可以看到，这边是我们的左脑和右脑。那正常的情况下呢，我们的语言是在大脑的左边，我们的左边的大脑呢会起非常重要的作用。那在我们的大脑右边一般我们会负责什么？一般是比如说音乐啊，或者说创造力会在我们大脑的右边。但是呢，大家可以看到了。这个图片呢，大家看到了，就是母语者在受测试的时候，他们大脑里面呈现的情况。首先呢，我们可以看到一个比较明显的一个趋势，就是信息的走向。比较重要的是，我们在这里呢可以看到，只有声调的，比如说普通话的这个测试者，他们在交流比较有深度、比较需要通过智慧去理解的沟通的过程中呢，左脑和右脑之间的信息的流动，大家可以很明显看到这里的差别。大家可以看到 P 这个位置和 R 这个位置之间，在说汉语的普通话的这个测试之间呢，他们有非常明显的互动。但是呢，在英语只说英语的测试者，他们就没有这样子的信息流转。Okay, so what does this research tells us? So there are a couple of things very important. First, whether you are a tonal language speaker or non-tonal language speaker, there's sufficient information flow between your left hemisphere and right hemisphere. So that is something that we all share in common. However, you can see the flow that is very significant when it comes to Mandarin speaker, especially when they need to communicate intelligent speech in order to comprehend a chunk of information. The flow between left hemisphere and right hemisphere suddenly increase, and there's no such link in the monolingual language such as English. So the position here you can see is the difference between the communication of R and P. That's where the network in the brain really fires up when Mandarin speakers trying to communicate and comprehend intelligent speech. I'm hoping by telling you the finding of this research is to actually reassure you that if you are a non-toner speaker, it's absolutely normal for you to find the tones challenging and for you to comprehend Chinese language challenging. However, here's the advantage when you try to learn Mandarin Chinese despite its challenging. It will boost the information flow and networking in your brain, and then it will actually enhance your brain function if you keep practicing. We're combining the logical side of the brain with the emotional and creative side of the brain that actually will bring you lots of benefits. 好的，这个呢就是我想跟大家分享的第一部分。这个科研告诉我们为什么如果你的母语是英语是没有声调的，你会觉得学声调很难。那同时呢，也告诉你为什么学习汉语有声调的这样子的语言对你的大脑其实是非常有益的。好，接下来那我们就来看一看我们已经说得很流利了，我们应该怎么学。Now let's come to the strategy part. So you're already a fluent speaker. Well done. You're trying to improve further, and the strategies that I shared the previous time to break things down, right? To break the word down still work. However, I'm hoping you can go beyond that and be more fluent while you practice the accuracy of the tone. So here are my top strategies. Strategy number 1, tone Sandhis. 这个呢，在中文里面呢，就是变调。如果你已经不是一个初学者，那你就必须知道，在中文里面的一些组合，它在发音上会产生变化。那主要呢是在三声，比方说两个三声放在一起，那第一个呢就会变成二声。So the most common word we've learned, 你好 hello. The Chinese character 你 on its own is the third tone, but when we put it together, because 你 followed by 好, then the first tone change, it become 你好, right? So it's not 你好, it's 你好. So that's one example. There are other common tone change, for example, first tone with the fourth tone. So for example, we can say a piece of clothing, 一件衣服. So here, 一, we all know 一 means one, right? But when it followed by a fourth tone here, the measure word is 件 for clothing. So 一件衣服. Then the first Chinese character 一 no longer pronounce 一, it will pronounce 一. So it changed from first tone to second tone. 一件衣服. Now here in this video, I'm not going to explain all the examples. There are limited number. Don't worry, it's not a massive and impossible task. But for more advanced speakers like yourself, I think it's really good to get those right because that makes you sound like a more native and authentic speaker. 好的，这个就是我们的第一个，你要学会怎么样来变声调。好，第二个技巧呢，就是 focus on challenging sounds， 侧重在你觉得比较有挑战的声调上。So last video I talked about you need to master the basic combination of two syllable sounds, right? So first tone plus first tone, all the way to fourth tone plus fourth tone. So 16 combination. And two syllables words are the most commonly used words in Mandarin. So once you've mastered that, it will give you a really solid foundation to be able to pronounce all the Chinese words. So here, as a more advanced speakers, you really need to understand which combination you are struggling with. And you need to expand to 4 Chinese character, which is Chinese idioms. That's another very common Chinese language use and more sophisticated language use. So these words come in 4. So I would say the second strategy is identify and focus the challenge sounds for yourself and re-practice those, and then at the same time expand to 4 syllabus words, because as an advanced speaker, I'm sure you want to throw in some Chinese idioms here and there. By combining the 4 syllabus words, it gives you additional challenge of how the combination work. But it's like a building block, right? It's same as the Chinese characters. You just need to put the building blocks together and find what are the challenge combinations for you, and then spend more time to focus on those. 好的，这个呢就是第2个，认识到你的哪个拼音组合，从2个字的拼音组合，然后呢发展到4个字的拼音组合。这个是我给大家的第2个策略。第3个策略 ，authentic listening practicing。那你现在的中文已经很好了，所以呢，对你来说，听不同的中国人说话是非常非常重要的。这个听呢，是让你去认真的听。So this active listening, so as most of you know, we talk a lot about active listening in communication style, right? In communication, how important it is. But it is also important in practicing your tone, because this is about paying attention. So really pay attention about the flow of how native speakers use that. So this is the first element of active listening. But the second element that I want to emphasize, 第2个呢，就是你要听不同的人说话。那不管是老人、小朋友还是中年人，你需要听男女老少不同的人怎么样来说话。The second aspect of active listening is about listening to all sorts of speakers, both from different gender and also different part of China. 如果你可以看中国的电影，或者说电视剧，或者呢是看中国的新闻，那这些呢对你来说都是非常重要的和非常有用的 input。Remember last time we talked about the balanced importance of input and output. So as more advanced fluent speaker to have that active listening, have sufficient quality of different type of input become very important. 好，现在我们来看一下最后一个技巧，就是 shadowing. So now let's talk about the final strategy I can give to fluent speaker, that is called shadowing. So it's a little bit similar to the idea of mimicking when I talk about the balanced output. This is the output part. So for beginner, it is very important to mimic individual sound and short vocabulary. But now you're more advanced, so it's really important to shadowing the native speaker in terms of putting the practice into a sentence, into a paragraph, into a chunk. And also, not only that, but putting a little bit of emotion into it. So the best way to practice is that you can watch a movie and try to imitate how the actors or actress convey, maybe they're a bit sad or maybe they're happy, and how they express that in a chunk of expression. 所以呢，这个是我说的 shadowing， 这个是一个非常重要的 output 的一个部分。那在这里呢，你需要学会成段的表达。So the key here is, of course, to be able to produce the language in a solid chunk, and particularly produce it in different contexts with different emotion incorporate into your speech. 好的，这个就是这个星期视频的所有内容了。所以呢，我是想给已经中文说的比较流利的同学们一些比较具体的建议。那虽然我们了解学中文是很难的，我们也知道为什么学中文学不同的四声会很困难，但是呢，我希望今天老师给你们的4个建议可以帮助你们成为更好的中文使用者。好的，这个就是今天的所有内容啦，谢谢大家的观看。如果今天的内容对你的学习有帮助，不要忘记给老师点赞。下个星期呢，我们应该回到我们正常的语言学习的环节，那就很期待下个星期和大家再见，拜拜。